Hello again, folks, and welcome back to Let's Read the Book of Fables from The Wolf Among Us. Let's keep going, shall we? We read the Ring of Dispel last time. Let's move on to Bloody Mary, the urban legend. The true history of the person known as Bloody Mary is almost completely unknown, even to fables most acquainted with its members. Her name, Mary at least, is not up for contention, nor is her penchant for shocking violence, an inlaid resistance to magic and spells, and a strange ability to use any reflective surface as a portal, effectively shortcutting space and time. Thought by Mondays to be the wailing apparition of a childless ghost, though any evidence of that is yet unseen. Silver bullets, wolf's weakness. The legends of great and magical wolves often make mention of their weakness against weapons made of silver, and those tales bear out to be true. The silver bullet Mary shot Bigby with was not the first, but any of them could be his last. Any silver left in Bigby's body weakens his system, slows his healing, and can cause long-term damage. Acting Deputy, Snow White. With Ichabod Crane firmly out of the picture and King Cole still absent, the task of leading Fabletown falls squarely on Snow's shoulders. She has performed many of the duties for a long time, picking up the slack for Crane. But now that she's fully in charge of the business office, she has to deal with a new level of politicking. Is that word? Politicking she had not previously been exposed to. Donkey skin coat, hide in plain sight. Only the truly beautiful will fully understand the power of a coat that makes its wearer appear ugly. It is the power to be invisible while still being seen. Unfortunately, its value can also be hard to see, but it is still a magic coat, and to some collectors, that is enough. Briar Rose, the Sleeping Beauty. One of the few fables to find fortune in this world, Briar Rose has even turned her weakness into a strength. When her finger is pricked, it not only puts her to sleep, but also those within a certain radius of her slumber. Oh, okay, so it puts a lot of other people to sleep. That's kind of neat. This can be a powerful tool, and it's just one of the ways this Sleeping Beauty is more than just a pretty face. If only she didn't need a kiss from a prince to wake up. The Jersey Devil, Garden State Goon, or Joycey. Not all of the fables who came to this world landed in Fabletown. There are those who scattered across the farthest corners of the earth, and there are those who simply prefer the Garden State to the Empire State. Such is the Jersey Devil. Reports of its appearance have varied, although most accounts make mention of leathery wings. But an encounter with a certain axe of legend some years ago has temporarily rendered that feature absent. The Woodsman's Axe, speaking of which, ensorcelled by druids. Once just a simple tool for felling trees, the axe became much more when it was ensorcelled, is that really a word? By druids and marked with their runes. But it truly became an object of legend when the woodsman used it to slice the big bad wolf from nape to neck in protection of Little Red Riding Hood. It may carry old world charm, but its simplicity of design and quality workmanship make it an effective tool or weapon even today. Johann, the Butcher. His name is often said in the same breath as that of the baker and the candlestick maker of Fabletown. And like those other tradesmen, Johann the Butcher's storefront has served Fabletown for ages. Fresh cuts, exotic meats, and even full sides of beef for the vigorous appetites of ogres and trolls. But Johann's business has fallen on hard times and fallen in with the wrong crowd. As the quality of his products declined and his business turned into a front operation for the crooked man, some have started to wonder if they ever really knew Johann. Or Johann. Bluebeard's money. One might think that Bluebeard donates to the Fabletown government for nefarious purposes, seeking special favors or to have a louder voice in government proceedings. But what he really wants is stability and strength. Because, as far as Bluebeard is concerned, Fabletown exists to insulate him from the Mundy world. As much as his money can be a sword, it also serves him as a shield. Clever. The Crooked Lair, Headquarters. Occupying a desanctified church, this is one of many locations the Crooked Man's operation uses to run the Fabletown underworld. Its lounge atmosphere makes for a comfortable meeting place, unless you are an unwelcome guest. It is completely boarded up to the outside world, and the only way in is through some of the many portals marked by a door with the Crooked Man's Catherine wheel icon, scattered throughout the city and elsewhere. The Crooked Man, Crime Lord. The Crooked Man has slowly built himself into one of the most powerful figures in Fabletown. His operation started with a crooked sixpence and a crooked house, two things he cared about more than his wife or children, whom he killed rather than let them stand in his way. Jesus. In his rise, the Crooked Man has ensnared many fables in his criminal web, providing them with what they need, but always at a high cost. He is cunning, persuasive, and ruthless. Tiny Tim, Sentry. While most fables theorize that their longevity and overall well-being is improved by the Mundy World's knowledge of them, for a select few that does not seem to apply. When a malady or injury is an integral part of a fable's story, that notoriety can make recovery nearly impossible. That's what Tiny Tim thinks, at least, and no medical care or magic, rather none that he can afford, can heal his leg. Poor kid. Life on the farm. With its idyllic location and managed community, the farm would seem to be a welcome alternative to eking out an existence in Fabletown. But those who have lived there see it very differently. They see it for what it is, a prison. A place where you are free to be who you are and do whatever you please, except leave. It doesn't help that while fables who appear human do not have to worry about being sent to the farm, they always seem to fill the leadership roles there. Vivian's story, the girl with the ribbon. Vivian was the very first to bear the curse of the purple ribbon. Removing the ribbon would result in death, and any attempt to talk about it was thwarted by the spell upon it. As time went on, she tried to live a normal life. Eventually, she married a nice man, but he was constantly wondering about the ribbon around her neck. Despite her pleas for him to leave it alone, one night while she was sleeping, he attempted to remove it. As he pulled on the edge of the string, Vivian woke and saw what her husband was doing. In a panic, she pulled away, preventing the ribbon's knot from being undone. Furious, she tried to express the severity of his actions, but her husband was unable to understand. She realized then that she couldn't trust him and decided to leave. She lived alone for the rest of her days in the homelands, preferring the safety of isolation to the risk of another betrayal. Oh, that's interesting. The Pudding and Pie, Vivian and Georgie's place. Vivian and Georgie met during the exodus from the homelands, and they helped each other survive the long journey to the mundane world. Upon their arrival, however, they found it hard to make a decent living. With what little money they had, they opened the Pudding and Pie. Operating a strip club may not have been the most desirable occupation, but they figured it was better to be in charge of a place like this than be forced through desperation to work at one. Fair point. Winter Wolf, Bigby's mother. Aw, little Bigby. Bigby's mother, Winter, fell in love with the North Wind and bore him seven wolf cubs. But he quickly grew tired of her and left Winter. Heartbroken and alone, she tried to care for her cubs despite her grief. She was especially fond of Bigby, and who wouldn't be? But as the runt of the litter, he was often teased by his older brothers. After Winter's death, Bigby's siblings went in search of their father, but Bigby stayed behind to protect his mother's corpse from scavengers. Unfortunately, he was too small to defend her. From then on, he vowed to eat something bigger each day until he was large enough to confront his father and finally make him pay for the pain he caused his family. That is an amazing story. The Big Bad Wolf, Bigby's true form. Bigby's true form is that of a giant 8-foot-tall wolf. In addition to his iconic huff and puff power, he has also inherited other abilities from his father, the North Wind. For example, Bigby is able to hold his breath for an abnormally long amount of time, making it impossible for him to drown. That's very interesting. Mary's loyalty, part of the job. Bloody Mary began working for the Crooked Man many centuries ago. He promised her freedom to do as she pleased as long as she agreed to act as his personal bodyguard and hitman. Because of the Crooked Man's power and influence, Mary never had to worry about getting caught by the authorities. She enjoys her job immensely and would defend the Crooked Man to the death, mostly because she finds it fun. What a kook. Fabletown Justice. When a criminal is captured in Fabletown, the traditional procedure is to hold a formal hearing in front of the community or concerned parties. However, exceptions are often made to expedite the process. In reality, there aren't any hard and fast rules for these types of situations, and the extent to which policies are upheld can depend on who is being charged. A new order. Snow White in charge. With Crane out of the picture, Mayor Cole has officially appointed Snow White as the Director of Operations and Deputy Mayor in his absence. Many would say that this promotion is a long time coming since she was instrumental in the establishment of Fabletown and personally ensured that many fables made it to the new world safely. She's also been doing the work of the Deputy Mayor unofficially for years. This is our last page, folks. Sheriff Bigby. After fleeing the homelands, Bigby Wolf spent many years wandering through Europe. With a fable colony quickly developing in the New World, Snow White and Feathertop tracked down the wolf and offered him passage to Fabletown. He agreed, and Snow cut him with a lycanthropy. Lycanthropy? I don't know the proper pronunciation. Stained knife to give him the power to change into human form at will. Bigby became sheriff of Fabletown under King Cole's administration, but because of his violent past, many fables didn't trust him and he was banned from ever setting foot on the farm. To this day, he struggles to redeem himself in the eyes of the community. And that's it, folks. That is it for the Book of Fables for The Wolf Among Us. I'm really hoping that they actually do a second season of The Wolf Among Us because it is absolutely fantastic. But if you didn't get a chance to, folks, and you're interested, feel free to watch my series of The Wolf Among Us. I did all 5 chapters. It's a tremendous game. It's very, very well written. It was an absolute delight to play. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching my reading series here of the Book of Fables. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did or not, and give me suggestions on anything else you'd like me to read. I'll do it every now and then. For the most part, I'm still going to keep doing Let's Plays, of course. I'll never stop doing that. But if there's anything you'd like to see, just feel free to let me know, folks. So, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.